Chapter 16. He gets on the highway headed out of town toward Honduras, and I look out those smoked windows and realize I don't have to worry about anyone seeing me with Ray. I could bang on those windows screaming for help and nobody would see me. When we get to the border, crossing, my heart races, and when the guy there just waves the truck through, I feel like my heart will split out of my mouth. You see, he says, the connections I've made, Pequena, people are learning to treat me right. Yes, of course, you deserve to be treated right. I stare out the window, the baby now in my arms. Ray pulls off the road sharply, and I think this is it. This is where I will die. We dip and ride through back roads, and I know, nobody will ever find my body here. I want to show you a meaningful place to me, Pequena. We go down a few more roads until finally I can see sand and a water ahead. Maybe he will drown me. Come on, he says, parking and getting out of the car. My legs feel weak, but I follow. This is where I decide I wasn't going to be a nobody, Pequena. I came out of here one night, and I decided I would take things into my own hands, be in charge of my own destiny, take what I wanted and answer to no one, and get rid of anyone who stood in my way. He takes my hand in his. Dios, look at how you're shaking. I wanted it to be a surprise, but maybe you already know. He reaches into his pocket. Close your eyes, Pequena. I, I do what he says. In my head, I recite the Lord's Prayer. I feel him slide a ring on my left hand. Open them, he says. When I do, I see a diamond so big it has no business being on my scrawny finger. He kisses it. There, he says, I want you to know I paid for that. I didn't steal that ring. It's important, you know. I bought it. He studies the diamond, the glint of it. This ring is your destiny. I nod while on the deserted beach, where no one can hear you. Scream, he tells me with we will be happy. I stare at that ring. I see my future with Ray. My lungs seize in my chest. A terrible sound comes from me as my legs give out and I fall to my knees, still holding that baby. Ray's dark figure stands over us. I can barely make out his face. I knew you'd be happy, he says, his voice from somewhere far away. I feel him hoist me up roughly and lead me to the car. The baby shrieks as we pull onto the highway, and I stare at the road ahead, seeing nothing but the years and years ahead of me. I look at the door handle as Ray presses down on the gas, but I don't want to die. Outside my house, he kisses me, right there in the car, now with the windows down for anyone passing by to see. We are not a secret anymore, understand? He whispers in my ear. I'll be back tomorrow, and by then, you better have told your mommy because tomorrow night you're coming home with me. The day is thick with heat and humidity, but my body goes cold with shock. Tomorrow night, I whisper. He smiles. I don't care if your mommy doesn't like it. He takes my hand, lifts it. Look at that ring, he says. But the world is fading again. My head is thick with fog. I said, look at the ring. He grips my hand harder. Something inside me breaks as I nod. As I look at that ring, it's beautiful. He kisses it. He kisses me. His phone buzzes, and he pulls away, glances down at it. I gotta go, he says. I nod and quickly open the car door and get out, eager to escape. Hey, remember though, tomorrow night, he yells, before finally driving away. I stand there numb, everything unreal. I stare at the little neighbor girl across the street, peering out at me from the front door, and I wonder if she is real. I stare at the road, waiting for the water to come rushing down the streets, to carry me away, because this can't be real. It can't. The sound of a motor scooter breaks into my fog, and I see it heading toward me, zooming up to our patio. I know it's Pulga and Chico before they even take off their helmets, and they're saying something to me, but I have a hard time making sense of it. Pulga shakes me until his words, his voice, become clearer and clearer. What's wrong with you? He asks. Why are you shivering like that? I stare at him, at both of them, trying to understand why they're here when they're supposed to be at school. Why they're riding on a motor scooter I don't recognize. Why their faces look so worried. Maybe I'm imagining this. All of this. Are you real? I ask him. Listen, I don't have the time to totally explain, Pulga says. He keeps looking over his shoulder, like he expects someone to come up at any minute. You were right. Something bad. Something really bad is happening, Pequena. The baby cries. My heart races. Everything becomes crisper. What, Pulga? What's the matter? What happened? Listen, we gotta get out of here, Pequena. We have to leave We have to leave tonight. His voice goes high, and his eyes fill with tears. Remember what you said? Remember you said we had to run? You were right. We gonna run, the three of us, okay? Al norte en la bestia, to the United States. Chica whispers. What? What do you say? I'm saying we have to go, Pulga says. I watch at his hands, brushes past a gun in his waistband, as he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a bus ticket that he thrusts into my hand. Meet us there, okay? Okay. Tonight. It's the 3 a.m. bus. You got it. Be there, Pequena. The baby cries, but I nod and look at the ticket. Okay, I say. It's not too late, Pulga says, as they jump back onto the motor scooter. I watch as they race away. I stand there listening to the echoing zoom behind them. Until it's gone, until all is silence again. The little girl is still peering at me from the front door. Is this real, I wonder? I look down at my ticket in my hand. Yes, it's real.